Yo, 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 what is up, y'all? My name is Robert Donaldson, and welcome back to another edition of Rob's Best Bets. And in this video, we are once again focusing on a conference tournament in the college basketball scene, this time the Big South. And as I always highlight with these videos, you know, at the start of March, all the way going across to the end of the college basketball season, we have been absolutely raking over the last 3 seasons. That's what this record is displaying right here. And a large part of that is because of leveraging conference tournament futures and also leveraging NCAA tournament futures and placing straight bets both in the conference tournaments as well as the national tournaments as well. And when we're looking at the Big South here in this bracket, it's a 9-team bracket. It has an opening kind of play-in game, and at the top of the heap, you have High Point, who last year got inexplicably knocked off. It kind of looked like they were going to be the predominant team that runs through the league and makes it look really easy. And yet again, you know, they have a talented roster this year, although it's more so a new look roster because of all the roster turnover that they had coming into the season. And throughout this league, you have a lot of kind of notable programs that have retained the Big South as their conference, but a lot of programs have left the Big South over the years, kind of shrinking down the field, and a lot of head coaches, notably, you know, Pat Kelsey and Greg Marshall were at, you know, Winthrop for a long time, and a number of other head coaches, like a Tim Kraft, for example, left for the SoCon or left for just bigger conferences and bigger programs. But when you are looking at the viable teams in this bracket, I do think there are a few. I think there's 5 in particular that I take a look at. We're going to start at the very top here with High Point. Then at number 2, we're going to go to UNC Asheville. Number 3, we got Winthrop. 4, we got Radford. And then we're going to jump to the 6th seed in Longwood as the 5 viable teams to choose from in terms of our futures market. And when we're looking at just these futures and kind of how I want to play this conference, I don't want to have a lot of long shots here. In particular, I don't want to take a shot on a Longwood because in round 1, they're taking on Winthrop. And we can start with Winthrop, actually, because what I really like about Winthrop is this is a roster that is bringing back 4 of the 5 starters from last conference tournament season when they lost to this Longwood team. And Longwood actually ended up going on to win the conference tournament. They upset High Point. And when you're looking at this Winthrop team, I think they have the horses to beat any team in this conference. And when you look at their matchups against High Point earlier this season, they had a couple blowouts, but they did show fight in those games before the score actually kind of ballooned up on them. And I do think there's a small chance that our Radford at the top of the bracket can pick off a High Point, and that would be the dream scenario. But what I do like about Winthrop is the revenge angle in round 1 against a good Longwood team, and I think they end up winning that one and giving us, you know, right out of the gate some equity. So let's go ahead and place 1 unit on Winthrop, and it's 9.5 to 1 your money. I found this on DraftKings, and let's go ahead and roll with Winthrop for our first pick here in the Big South Conference Tournament. All right, for our second and final future here in the Big South, we're going to be looking at that Radford team that we mentioned, and they've got a 4-5 matchup against Presbyterian in round 1, and I do think that Radford on a neutral floor is a better team than Presbyterian. And when you're looking at the next round and you're kind of forecasting it to be High Point, that's the game that, you know, we saw Radford kind of take it to High Point, have a chance to win that game at home on a neutral floor. That's kind of where I think it's up in the air. I think High Point probably wins that game, but the fact that Radford does have a chance and they're getting odds of 8.5 to 1, it makes me really like the idea of also kind of pairing those 2 futures, the Winthrop and the Radford futures, because I could, theoretically see that being the championship game out of the top side and the bottom side of the bracket. So let's go ahead and throw a half unit on Radford, 8.5 to 1 your money. I got this on MGM, and as I always say in each video as well, this is not to win a half unit. This is a half unit to win 4.25 units potentially, because we do want that equity in a potential payout. So with all that being said, y'all, that is going to do it for our Big South Conference Tournament futures episode. And just as an update as well, no Patriot League video and no NEC video. We're not going to have any futures in those two conference tournaments, so rest assured on those. But with all that being said, y'all, I will see you in a future video. Take it easy.